Hi, today's video we are going to start looking at the costing side of the Starfront program. If you have not watched lesson 3, please pause this video and go and watch lesson 3 first. Lesson 3 will introduce you to the concepts of the costing on Starfront. Here we are going to look at a specific contract and how to cost that contract. So if you recall, we were busy working on a contract. What I have done is I've actually just simplified that contract a little bit. I have removed some of the designs just to speed up the costing process. We have a door 03, which was our Vistafold door. We have a shop front, that basic shop front with the double hinge door in the middle. And then I have got 5 different Swift 28 windows. So let's assume now I've done my contract and I've checked everything, all of the automations have been done by Starfront. The next step is to click across at the top here on the costing tab. When you click on the costing tab, you will see that initially everything is sitting at 0. And that is because we have to tell Starfront to recalculate the pricing for us. Now, just to quickly go over the layout of this costing tab. First of all, this first block on the top left here is headed material costs. These are where all of our material costs related to this project sit. Then I have a separate block for my factory costs. I then have a block for my installation cost. Then there's another box here called other costs. That's for anything additional that I want to add onto the costing of this project. And then I have the totals and VAT and profit and all of my financial figures here on this side. On my glass costing options, I can choose either to cost my glass based on the sheet price. In other words, I'm purchasing sheets of glass and I'm going to cut them myself, or work off the cut to size price which is in my glass file. Please remember at this point that neither Wispeaker nor the CDPs sell glass, and therefore it is your responsibility to set your glass prices on the program. Then we have a button here for your costing details. We'll look at that just now. A button to reset our defaults. We'll also look at that a bit later. A refresh button, an estimate button, a recalculate button, and an accept button. So the ones that we are going to use to actually perform the costing are either the estimate or the recalculate button. So what is the difference? The basic difference is that the estimate just leaves out some of the small fine adjustments on the design, all right, and will give you your costing about 95% accurate. But it is a lot faster than the recalculate function. So if you're just playing with some parameters on the design and you want to see how they affect the overall price of the contract, you can use the estimate button. When you're ready to produce your final quotation, then you can use the recalculate button. The other thing that you will notice is that when you start off, when you first get Starfront, all of your supplier discounts are set to 0. Now remembering that the price file on Starfront is the list price, it's important that we go in and we set those discounts. All right. Also, initially, these 4 figures which are shown in blue here, and we will talk more about them in a later video. The factory labor, the factory overheads, the installation labor, and the installation overheads also all default to 0. Now, in part of setting up this program correctly for your business, you need to determine those 4 figures which are shown in blue on this costing screen. And that will be covered in the next level of costing videos. For now, we are going to cost on the premise that we are taking our total material price, we are adding 100% markup, in other words, we're doubling that material price, and then that material price doubled is going to represent what our total costs are. Okay, so let's just go in first of all, and without setting anything, let's just go in and push the recalculate button and see what that does. So I click on that recalculate button. You'll see it'll say processing design 1 of 7. If it comes up with this message here, not responding, don't worry about that message. It's just Windows. It's an automated feature built into Windows. If nothing has changed on the screen for a while, it comes up with that message saying it's possibly not responding. So just let it process through those designs. Alright, and there it has now done the costing on that job for us. So let's have a look at what it's actually calculated. Our material costs get broken into the 4 primary components. We have our aluminium profiles. So on this job, those aluminium profiles are costing 7,425 Rand and 87 cents. The finishing of those profiles, which is my powder coating, because we selected DAP055P, the white powder coating on this job. The powder coating is 124002. The components are 6,617 Rand and 79 cents. And then the glass is 2,566 Rand and 91 cents. So those are my raw material costs. The program then allows a percentage of those total costs for the consumables. In this case, our consumables are 535 Rand and 52 cents. And that is to cater for things like protective tape, cleaning solutions, silicone, on-site fixings, all that type of consumable that is used in manufacturing and installing those windows. Then there's a allowance here for the packaging cost. It is set to 0, so we don't have any packaging cost. So on this job, our total cost price on our material is 18,386 Rand and 11 cents. Factory costs, we don't have any factory labor or factory overhead, so our factory costs are sitting at 0. And our installation, remember when we did our design, we didn't specify any installation, so our installation costs are 0. Okay, now we have a box here for additional costs. I'm not going to put any additional costs in on this project. So our total cost is just our material cost, which is our 18,386 Rand 11 cents. And we have set the program initially to have 100% markup. And the only time you use 100% markup is when you are going to ignore your factory costs and your installation costs. Because that 100% markup takes those into consideration. It's an estimate of what your factory and your installation costs are going to be. So our gross profit, our contribution that we add on to this project is another 18,386 Rand and 9 cents, which means our subtotal is 36,772 Rand and 20 cents. I'm not offering any customer discounts on this project, and my net profit is therefore 18,386.09. The total value of this contract, that's if I'm taking discount into consideration. I can also build in a transport cost here if I want. So the total value of this contract is 36,772.20. We add our 15% VAT, which means that the total contract value is 42,288 Rand and 3 cents. So when I quote on this project, including VAT, that is going to be the figure that I'm quoting. Excluding VAT, that is the figure that I'm going to be quoting. And you can see that 36,000 is simply my total material cost doubled. Now that estimate is fine when you first start using Starfront, but long term, to use Starfront correctly, you need to determine these figures shown here in blue, which is what your factory labor and your factory overheads are costing you, and what your installation labor and installation overheads are costing. Then we would be working back down to say a 20 or a 25% markup because our cost is the actual cost including those two additional factors. Now, we need to start fine-tuning this because this is not accurate enough for us to work on initially. And the first thing, for example, is I do not have any supplier discount in on these prices. Now, your supplier discount is something that you have to set up. Just remember that the list prices that are automatically maintained via the internet on this program are generally the list prices from your supplier or your CDP, your Creelco distribution partner. So I need to put in, let's say, for example, on my aluminium, I get less 25%. On my finishing, I get less 25%. And on my components, I get less 15%. Let's say those are the figures that I get. Now, glazing, I'm going to leave no discount in on my glazing figure because generally you are managing your own glass prices and you're most likely going to put your cost price in. If you do take a price list and enter the list price from your glass supplier, then you would have to go and put in your discount there. Now what I can do now is I can just push the refresh button. I don't have to recalculate. What refresh does is it just updates these figures, taking into consideration any of the white boxes that I may have changed. Now you'll notice on the screen, any of these boxes that are with a white background, you can edit those values. Any of the boxes with a blue background, you cannot edit. Those have been automatically calculated for you. So we went and put in our discount, our supplier's discount on our materials. So that has taken our material cost to 15,428 Rand. Okay, and so our total project is 15,428 doubled, and that will give us our 30,855. So already this is one step more accurate because now at least I have my supplier discount taken into consideration. Now, if you have just installed Starfront for the first time, and it's the first time you're using Starfront, then you can utilize these figures. This estimate, this contract value, either ex VAT or contract value including VAT, is a good initial estimate. It is saying my costing is based on my total material price, which is this figure here, doubled, which is therefore my contribution towards this job, and that will then give me a total, in this case 30,855 Rand, and my contract value ex VAT is 38,558. Add the VAT, with VAT it's 35,484. Now if I'm happy with those figures, I can simply push the accept button and the program will save that costing information for me. You don't have to push the accept button, the program does save automatically for you anyhow. So that is your costing on the most basic level. All we have worried about is going to go and set in our suppliers' discounts and no factory costs, no installation costs, and then we get our contract. I could now, for example, go and print a quotation and the program will automatically work out a unit price for each of the products that are on this particular contract. In the next level of costing video, we will go into looking at actually working out your factory costs and your installation costs so that we get a more accurate costing. Alright, thank you everyone. Once again, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Please stay safe, stay healthy and stay happy, and we'll see each other again soon. Bye bye.